Lo scorso anno Ranieri.
A year ago, RANIERI International made their debut in the field of inflatable boats with 4 models, ranging in sizes of 19, 21 and 23 feet. They've clearly been successful, since this year the shipyard will be presenting another 6 new models. They've expanded their range with larger sizes. For example, this model is the Cayman 26 Sport Touring.
La sigla Sport sembra fornirci.
The title Sport provides a useful indication of the dynamic features of the hull.
È lungo 7,70 m e largo 2,85 m.
It's 7.7 metres long and 2.85 metres wide. This means that it's quite long relative to its width, a parameter in favour of the features of this boat. There is only one space for one engine to be installed, but it sure is powerful. In this case, the power of one engine is more favourable than 2, because with only one shaft immersed, there is subsequently less drag.
La coperta la esaminiamo dopo, cuscini, materassini.
We'll examine the deck later. Cushions, sunbeds and other amenities are less important right now. Let's go for a spin.
Questo motore è il più potente della gamma Honda.
This engine is 250 horsepower, the most powerful of all Honda engines. It uses traditional engineering, a 4-stroke, 60-degree V6 with a single overhead camshaft, 4 valves per cylinder and a displacement of nearly 3,600 cubic centimetres.
Il nuovo piede è più idrodinamico e grazie a un rapporto di riduzione più
This new shaft has better hydrodynamics, and thanks to its higher reduction ratio, it is possible to install increased pitch propellers, which on average are much more efficient. However, a larger propeller signifies a great load on the gears, so Honda developed a system called shifting load reduction, which reduces the torque, meaning the blow on the transmission the moment that the gear is activated.
È chiaro, quando si ha tanta potenza a disposizione.
It's clear that when you have so much power available, all it takes is a slight push of the throttle and you're planing.
Il battello non ha problemi di.
The boat has no problems with balance because at a mere 12 knots, 2,200 RPM, we're already planing.
L'accelerazione è brillante.
The acceleration is quick and smooth. This engine has a function called blast that enhances the carburation at the exact moment in which the pilot hits the throttle to accelerate. Like this.
Ai regimi compresi fra 2000 e 5000 giri minuto interviene invece un'altra funzione del motore Honda.
Between 2,000 and 5,000 revs a minute, another engine function comes into play, the so-called Eco-Mo. The control unit uses different mappings to automatically save fuel while sailing at a constant cruising speed, like now at 20 knots, 3,000 revs a minute.
C'è un po' di onda, ma il gommone sembra secondarla bene. Primo perché la prua taglia bene l'acqua e secondo perché i tubolari a poppa sono costantemente a contatto con la superficie e lo stabilizzano in maniera davvero positiva. Siamo a 25 nodi, 3500 giri minuto. Ora mi chiedo, ma fino a che velocità è facile da condurre questo gommone?
I wonder up to which speed will it be easy to drive this boat. For example, in this moment, despite the 50-centimetre height of the waves, we are at 30 knots and 4,000 revs a minute, yet I have no problems with control, although the boat is lurching a bit, but only because the boat is perpendicular to the current of the sea. The boat maintains its course anyway, even without my intervening with the steering wheel.
Forse è il momento di dare un po' di trim, perché sento che la carena all'aumentare della velocità tende a infilare.
Perhaps it's time to give her a little trim, because I feel that with the increase of speed, the hull is starting to tip the bow a little. So, with the trim up, we'll bring it back out of the water, just enough to continue this good control of the route and to increase performance.
Siamo a 35 nodi, 4.500.
We're at 35 knots and 4,500 RPM. Still a good cruising speed for this engine.
Vediamo se queste acque...
Let's see if Calabria's waters are our friend. Let's hit the throttle and go to the max.
Allora, in questo momento siamo oltre...
Okay, so right now we're at over 40 knots, 42, 43 knots. It's a great speed, and I'm going to give a little trim. But I'm at the limit because the hull is completely out of the water. Only the shaft of the engine is immersed. 43 knots, 44, 44. This is the maximum speed, but to which I can say that the control is still very good. You can even see it for yourselves. Okay, so 250 horsepower is not too much, although because in this moment there are only two of us on board, me and the cameraman. However, if you decide to bring along a few friends, with this power you could still go at about 40 knots. What I like about this boat is that I can just adjust the angle of incidence on the water as I need it using this trim. It's very important to be able to change the trim in accordance to the speed and wave conditions. If I lift the trim, I lift the bow. When I lower the trim, I lower the bow. For example, at this moment I am navigating against the waves. I lowered the trim and the hull is perfect, at least in these conditions, because the wave breaks perfectly without making the boat jump. What really impressed me is the acceleration on this boat. Surely a big part is due to the characteristics of the engine, but also those of the hull. It always stays well on course, but what happens when the boat is veering? Let's make a sharp turn to see what happens. The angle of heel is not excessive because the tubes act as a barrier of support and limit the lateral inclination. So if you have any friends on board who are not used to navigation, know that they will not feel unsafe in any way. I will now slow down so that we may take a closer look at the deck. At the bow there is a lovely sunbed. It's so spacious you won't need any extensions. Under the cushion mat, an offset storage space. In front of the console, a folding seat becomes access to the dressing room and may also be set up as a bathroom. The colour scheme has been selected with great care, and the colours alternate between white, black and metallic grey. The pilot seat is ergonomic, but I would prefer a softer lumbar cushion, and the dashboard should be a bit tilted to be able to read the instruments better. Cover hides the sink. You can also sunbathe at the aft, reclining the backrest of the couch, and the chest under the seat contains all the safety equipment. The cockpit is a pleasant place to relax thanks to this lovely little couch. We tested the boat and we explored the deck. I will remind you that there is also a version without a cabin and also one for divers. You choose the boat best suited for your preferred experience at sea.